Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Sorry about that, y'all. Let me know if you can hear me. I'm coming. I'm not on the screen. I apologize. But I had Atmos's thing. No, I like to set it on up. All right. Y'all can hear me. Y'all can hear me. What it do? What it do? Let me get some thumbs up. God darn, some light. Hit the like button or something if you can hear me. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Cousin. What it do, West Coast Killer? Y'all can hear me? Let me know if y'all can hear me so I can go ahead and salute y'all. Somebody let me know if y'all can hear me. Y'all steady speaking to each other and nobody's speaking to me. Can you hear me? Shit. What it do? 312. Okay, thank you, Valencia. Lord have mercy. Thank God for Valencia. Because the rest of y'all ain't worth a damn. All right, what it do, Michelle Jordan? What it do? Hey, Valencia. Hey, Larry's Minion. Let me see, let me see. Hey, I am Queen Newton. Hey, Cool BJ. Cool BJ. Rocking with the truth. Let me see. What up, cousin Sibbo again? Hey, Love's Fair. Wifey Forever. Hey, I got you 312. I see you. Who else I got in here? All right. Yeah, so what's going on? What is going on? Yes, what is going on? So, we got a lot. Well, I hate to have to break this up because I know I said on this slide, the next live is going to be a part of the first giveaway for Club Blue, right? So I'm gonna have to break it up because I'm not gonna try to sit. I don't like coming on weekends and shit like that, right? Um, now I like to come on at least as possible. You people won't let a sister rest, right? Which I love it, right? I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining because they not requesting for you, then you ain't doing something right. You know what I'm saying? If you're not requesting for, looking for me, checking on me, I'm feeling okay. You know, you know what I'm saying? So, y'all, I always read. I am behind on the messages for on the videos and stuff like that, but I am reading the text messages and stuff like that as I get them. And again, I do appreciate it. All the messages you guys leave on the channel phone, which can be found. The channel phones and the emails can be found in the description box. And hopefully, I don't know if I updated. I forgot if I updated the the scroll at the bottom with the other number for the channel. But yeah, but I sure do appreciate it. I really, really do. As always, keep in mind, Janine, Larry's wife, that's her cash app, $ Cuphead 40. Yeah, so I did do both calling numbers. As well as I also put in three cash app. You feel free to donate to whomever you want to for your transcripts or what have you. But I put down Killer's cash app, Atmos's, and Sylvia's. Um, and I'm just saying that I guess she's for the. I mean, I don't know why everybody just can't put it together and so that everybody can get them and distribute them, but whatever, you know. You can't get you people, to work right. So, oh, thank you, Queen Newton. Yes, listen. I be getting all y'all. I'm just not trying to get in the habit of checking. So yeah, I must apologize if I don't respond to you guys' what that thing called IG. But I don't know how to work that shit, to be honest. I try, when I was setting it up and I made a few posts just to try to get familiar with it. I'm getting in the habit of checking that. Trying to get in the habit of checking the Facebook, and I am getting in the habit of checking the what that thing called, Twitter or whatever. Look for messages. Also, damn, I tried so hard to set this thing up. Listen, I made I know I'm gonna go over something. Let me write this shit down. Hold on. Uh, correction. All right, hold on one minute. I want to listen. I made this little video, right? This little not little commercial. So I want to also get y'all stuff. I'll make sure I have y'all send me the stuff in that I'll be requesting to make the other commercials and stuff. I was just testing it out to see if I can actually try to make some or whatever. It is very generic. I just did it probably about 30 minutes ago. Okay. Um, but I don't know. Like Fat Boy used to have this app. You remember when y'all used to see him, where you see me put up all those pictures, like he'll have him and I as Beyonce and Jay Z, or Anime and goddamn Ike and all those things or whatever. And I guess it's some kind of app where people you superimpose people's face on different images and shit like that, familiar images of movies and stuff like that. I don't know the name of the app or what have you, but if anybody knows the name of the app, can y'all tell me what it is so I can look at it? Because I thought about some fun commercials that I can do using that. You know how classy, and y'all make sure y'all always keep classy in mind, and as well as anybody that who lost a loved one or is experiencing hardship or anything like that during this particular time. But you know how classy always be you doing those commercials and stuff like that, DJ and those little cartoons and stuff, whatever that thing is or whatever. I don't know how to do that. That was all Fat Boy putting all that stuff up there. I almost shut down my damn phone. You know what I'm saying? So if anybody know what type of app that is, I want to use that to make a lot of these commercials, as well as also when I share people out, you know what I'm saying? When I share people out, I do not know what the content of their lives will be. Okay? So don't hold me responsible for any of it. Don't bring it to me. Don't bring the beefs to me. Because you do know. See, I'm probably one of the few people that everyone knows better to call me, to tell me who to have on over here, when to shut them up, when to do this and who to hang with, who to this, that, and the third, whatever. And nobody tells me who to have over here for shit. If your ass ain't blue, I'm probably not gonna even listen to you anyway. And if because people have their own individual bullshit or whatever. But one of the rules over here, whatever's said out of someone else's mouth, that shit belongs to that person. Don't have shit to do with me and does not reflect my opinion. Does not mean that I feel the same way that person does. They are they are saying shit about what have you. You know what I'm saying? Just like I don't sit up there and blame somebody else for somebody to find my ass up on their motherfucking channel unless they participating in shit like that. Okay? I don't bring it over here. I'm just sharing out the goddamn video. I'm doing my duty, you know what I'm saying, as a member of this, YouTube shit. Okay? That is all I'm doing. I don't have nothing to do with what comes out the people's mouth. Okay? Like I would not have no one um take any part of what comes out of my mouth. Because what comes out of my mouth is, something crazy. So, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, I'm going to try to deal with issues better. I don't know. Let me tell you something. I don't know how that's going to, how, I don't know how that's going to work, right? Because I'm in the, I'm on, usual, a pretty good position where I'm not worrying about no growing, no channel. I'm not worrying about who come and go, none of that shit, right? So I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna be done with it. But my workaround, I'm trying. If y'all hear me back here, I'm breathing like Darth Vader. It's some shit that I want to say that I can't say, or I don't think I should say it at that moment. So I'm gonna try to start breathing like Darth Vader. If you hear something going on like that, it is me. Back here breathing like a damn fool. Because I don't know how else to handle it. I made it through that. I'm not that strong, but give me a minute because I want to find that icon. But while we at it, I want to show y'all this homemade ass commercial while I look for that icon to put in there. Let me hold on for a minute. That I just made, right? This is a little fashion commercial. Hold on, y'all. It's real generic. I was just testing out to see if it was gonna be able to work, if I could pull it off. Shit. But and it's of something y'all already seen. I just added some music to it, and when I was thinking about your baby Flawless, you know how she's into her fashion thing. I said, well, I'm going to, we were supposed to been doing something with regards to fashion, so I wanted to put that up to see. You know what? All that damn time. I don't know how y'all do it, but I couldn't find that emoji that I was looking for. But again, it's that the one that's the new one that's popping up. It's like two blue people hugging. I don't, that's as far as I can see it. If anybody can find that emoji, can you put it in there? Want somebody? Or if not, I'll just go back. What it do, Dom King? What it do? I was gonna talk about you. I'm glad you popped up. Anyway, I swear, I had got so many darn positive messages about that live. You know what I'm saying? You think about it, that live was 4 in the morning. You know what I'm saying? Dom King over there on the West Coast. Okay, those are type of lives that I like. Intimate, real knowledge based, probing or what have you. And also, and I did realize I did something wrong. When I first spoke about the what I thought the defense strategies were, I was correct because it was early in the morning, what have you, right? It was, a normal hour. But I want to make sure that we get this straight. I'm saying that the defense, I truly believe, I don't know no other way to, no other way route they could go, but I truly believe that they are going with the excuse defense, and this is actually what it's called. It is the sister to, well, I say it's the sister to the justification defense. Both of them are exculpatory defenses, right? They are similar but different. And attorneys get them confused, sometimes, they use them interchangeably. They mix up the difference, the the direction of those particular strategies. So they do that, but I'm pretty well that's going to be the focus for most of it, the count, because it addresses the evidence, number one, as well as I do see that they'll probably, well, in that um in that excuse defense, they can go ahead and say, well, the victim witnesses or the accusers were groupies that pursued R. Kelly, right? As well as give reasons why, you know, he married Aaliyah and this, that, and the third, whatever. So it's pretty much excusing his alleged behavior. That's pretty much what it boils down to. I also wouldn't wouldn't be surprised if I see some of the one I came up with, the justification, when it comes to his reasoning, right? And again, the reasoning is called mens rea, and the behavior, the conduct is called actus rea. So he is functioning in a diminished capacity when So that's what. So I want to make sure you understand the excuse defense and the justification defense are two separate things. It's similar but different. Okay. We also now I have some articles up. It will be the first reads for me. Of course, that's really kind of how I like it, how I prefer to do it. But sometimes I may at some point read them first and then present them. As well as I know I spoke about, I didn't go over that motion of limine that came in. I mean, now it's like a mute point. We already know that the judge allowed the stuff in. We do know that they allowed the recordings and all of that after the witnesses had already testified. So I told you guys that came in through what they call extrinsic evidence, right? That's evidence that is allowed in after someone has testified. When someone is testifying and the evidence comes in, That is called intrinsic evidence, right? So I touched upon that. That's not nothing major. I just kind of want to let y'all know, what be going on when it's occurring, as well as let me see before I get started. What else I want to talk about? I can't even. I just wrote this and I can't even read my own goddamn writing. Oh, also with Dom, uh, shouts out to him. I got through like the first part of that exercise that we got to do before Monday. Got to do it. One, I'm gonna be busy because I got a lot of papers to grade, but we got to get it in before Monday because we want to. I heard just by looking at one of the articles, it said that the defense will uh, start its case in chief, which is present the presentation of their case, the start of their case on Monday. So we want to try to get that in, get started on that because you never know when they will rest. And we don't know how many witnesses will be they will call. We don't know who's on the victim, the witnesses list. So we don't know. Let me see what else. What else? What else? I hate that I can't even read my own goddamn writing. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. But yes. So let's see. Oh yeah. Shout out again. I always shout everybody. I don't know what is the big deal about people sharing, promoting someone's video, someone's work, it doesn't matter, what side you're on, how you feel about the person or whatever. I just think that I don't have to like you to say something good, to say the true facts about you. And if the true facts about you is some good, I don't understand why that's a hard pill for hard, a hard thing for people to do. I mean, it's the truth. If somebody's doing something, regardless if you like them or not, if they do something good, I mean, they done something good. You don't want to lie on nobody, what have you, but people have to do that around here. You know what? But you're gonna always, to me, a lot of people throw that word around, hate and someone's jealous of them and all that kind of shit, whatever. To me, a true hater is a person that cannot say anything good about someone, even when it's true. That to me is just the pure example of being a hater. And I am so glad that I haven't been called a hater yet. I don't think. That girl did, that old leatherback lizard over there, Shina did say I was jealous of her. I have no idea the reason why. And once again, she has included my name in her video. Is that the thing around here? Include people name in the video, maybe somebody will come listen to your sorry ass. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe that's how it works. But that ain't gonna fly with me. Shit. And let me see what else. What else? What else? Now I'm gonna try to. I want to get back on not so much. I don't want to call it correcting people, what have you, none of that stuff, because people get all crazy, whatever. If to me, I mean, if I'm wrong, whatever, please come in and correct my black ass. Because let me tell you what, I was listening to that excellent interview Sylvia had over there. What I think the lady name was, she was Diana Copeland's attorney. I think her name was Miss Gonzalez or something like that. And that was such, she gave so much good information in a short period of time. She was asked some good questions. I wish she had time to, you know, answer a few more questions or what have you. But I mean, that was fine. I wish that shit wasn't so crazy and everybody wasn't so nuts because I really believe that other people that be sitting in the bushes or whatever um may have could have contributed some questions that would be beneficial when it comes to the case. I mean, we're gonna have to get out of our head that just because you are pro R. Kelly, you cannot stand to hear any bad things with regards to the legal process that he's going through, even if it's true. And just because you're anti R. Kelly, you can't hear anything that's good about the legal process when it comes to R. Kelly, even if it's true. I'm gonna need everybody to face reality and the facts, cause y'all getting on my motherfucking nerves. To be honest, I'm just saying this is crazy. Hell, I wanted to goddamn put some questions in there, whatever, that could answer some real shit. So to give those people over their perspective, Sylvia's audience is growing. I mean, and shouts out to her for that. She came in after a lot of people have had established goddamn channels, and she's just blowing it out the goddamn water. She's landing some, good resources on that channel, what have you. And hell yeah, and especially I be listening. I be like, damn right, damn straight. They be confirming with the shit I be running over him. Only thing about it is, you know, they do it in a more professional, shit. But I guarantee you, they get a channel, get down here long enough, they be cussing and acting like a fool too. But yeah, I love her explanations and stuff like that. I love to hear that stuff because we always welcome um other perspectives. That's why I like EETV, Miss M was Empire Esquire TV. I call it, give everybody nicknames. Of course, it's with um all with love and it, unless I call you a leatherback lizard, that ain't with love. But you know what I'm saying? So we got to have all the resources, what have you. And I love when she said that when you get out of law school, she was so absolutely correct. That those first few years, she said 5. I like to say it's about 3. You are as best as you could be as a lawyer, right? Because you are just coming out of shit school, as well as you probably done intern and probably I got a little part-time job as an assistant, or and most likely you working in the goddamn the state's attorney's office or what have you, and you learning all various, you know specializations in law, right? But then you land get a job somewhere, and they practice a specific type of law. Some people do family, some people do, whatever it is, right? And you get to learn, you keep going over and learning that same law till you forget all about the other, laws and the aspects of those, you know, the legal system and all of that stuff because you get so familiar with one part of law, those objections, those all that kind of stuff, right? And it happens, just like they said that Judge Joe Brown didn't know what a Kershaw hearing was. He was a judge. I can remember um, Miss Empire didn't, she was familiar, but kind of not familiar with the word nole pros. You know what I'm saying? People use different words and stuff like that in different jurisdictions. You in a certain particular part of law, even if you're teaching, there's only certain some teachers, professors like to teach on certain class, certain, some of them. I mean, that it just it is what it is, and you can't expect to remember all that shit. You know, I have 5 degrees, right? Now I can remember, if you have a cavity, it may be on the mesial, accusal, distal, facial, lingual surfaces. I can remember that, but that's hell. Back in the late '80s, beginning 90s. Okay, shit, and it just it's like that. If you're in your wheelhouse, you're in your wheelhouse, and sometimes even if you're in your wheelhouse, you may forget a lot of shit, but that's just what it is. So that's why it's so important to have all those resources or what have you, and that nobody just acts so crazy and nuts over some crazy ass internet shit. That just burns my ass. I just don't see how people do it and keep up with it. After a while, that shit fizzles out. So, so I'm going to try to implement my Darth Vader breathing and shit. So if y'all hear that shit going on, that's me. And you know that something is wrong, and I just really don't want to attack it, whatever. But yeah, but anyway, shouts out to everybody that comes through that click that link, get on the panel, what have you. When I hear people say that, they never been on the panel till they come over here because they feel welcome over here. Even though these goddamn blue people in this goddamn chat is off the chain, baby. When I tell you, you come in, shit, you enter in at your own risk. But I will ride with their ass. The blue people as well as the white people, and I don't mean white as in white, but the white people that come on through or whatever, because I know if you're clicking that link or what have you, you're coming to get something and to contribute something, and it's gonna make sense because we don't be with that bullshit over here. We don't have time for none of that. So, and I appreciate you. Y'all just don't know. I really really do appreciate that. You know, you just don't even understand. Like this is something that I could, I really don't necessarily have to do, but I like doing it. And if people saying they're getting stuff out of it, and when people are asking for the damn lessons and stuff like that, I'm like, oh, okay, this right here is shit up my goddamn alley. So I appreciate y'all, always for tuning in or whatever. And and if it's a delay, y'all catch it on the replay. I'm okay with that too. But always make sure y'all leave y'all messages and comments and stuff like that because I read them all, and eventually I'll get to answer them and things of that nature. So maybe between this live and the next live for sure, it would be tie in with the first giveaway on Club Blue. Hell, like I was gonna say I should have called y'all the Notorious Blue. Okay? Y'all ass ain't look here. Y'all ass don't be playing. I should call y'all ass the Notorious Blue. And like I said, that's not a it's not a group, it's not a team, it's not a gang, it's not none of that. It is a club, and we have members. All right, that's just all it is. And it don't mean that you leaving a team group, none of that shit like that. None of that old crazy shit that only marginal mind mentality motherfuckers would think it means or whatever. Okay, it's not a takeover, none of that crazy shit. So let me get out in front of that and say that. Let me see what else. I'm trying to say all this before I start putting up the resources that we're gonna be using tonight. Um, what else? What else? What else? What else? Let me get the links up. Just give me a minute. I'm off the screen now. Where's the article? So we have that. I'm gonna ask y'all now. How was y'all day? I'll come back on the front of the screen to answer that because I like to interact with you people. Here's abuse tip. Okay, we have. I don't know what's in most of these articles. Okay, so let me see this one. Which one is this? Okay, so that came in late. Sorry, y'all, I can't see y'all. Trying to line it up. Y'all have some questions and stuff. Go ahead and get them ready because when I come around, I can answer. With this live and the next live, if y'all want to, y'all could probably get your pen and paper. While I'm not on the screen, so let me tell you uh, about some of the stuff. Well, I'm not some of it, but y'all could go back and check out Sylvia's interview, as well as Atmos did some reading. I think throughout the day. I don't know how much. Let me see. I don't know. Make sure y'all also keep up with Hollywood Next, aka Sexy Pieces, updates, as well as Dottie on Sylvia's channel. If nobody's anything, if she does an update, then that's also helpful. If someone on Debowski's channel give an update, that's all. Hey, the more the merrier. Like I said, between all of those resources, you get you a you'll get a pretty good picture of what happened. You know, on that same day. With the transcripts, we have to wait for those, and when we get them, they're already old, right? But you still need them because, especially for what we do over here in real time, we need to know what was said because for the most part right now, it's kind of getting like a one-sided story, and I don't like that. I really don't. I like I'm trying to get these articles straight. We need both sides to see to answer our question. Well, who is proving their case in court? So, all right. So I got my email up just in case y'all got some articles y'all want to see. Have me read in real time. I'm already okay. I'm back on the front. Um. Oh, Atmos, no days. Atmos be putting in some work. What it do, Karen Johnson? 1/3 of the KKK. Let me see. There's other ones in here. I got Dom. Hey, pretty piece. Okay. Finally heard from Larry. Well, I unless I asked him and didn't ask him ahead of time. I don't read his emails out unless I ask. The he sent a mass email and then he sent one private. I don't read the private one unless he asked. But I was getting worried about him, because last time I talked to him, he said they were going on lockdown or whatever, and I knew it was had been a long time. So, but I'm so glad that he's okay because I was like getting upset. Somebody's gonna have to tell me something. So anyway, let's see. Hey Chanel, V Rock, why you? Oh Lord, V Rock, Lord, V Rock, Jesus, V Rock. I don't know. I don't know. Hey Rockin'. I'm just trying to get. Hey, the truth, my love, the truth. Cool BJ, what it do, Granny? Hey, Miss my baby. It's my baby, Missy. Hey, 100 devices. What it do? I already got Dom Kane. But yeah, so yeah, Dom. So I heard you over there with the question day. Hey, Mocha, baby. Hey, Mocha. I be looking for that ponytail. So let me get up this first one. Let me see. All right, I'm gonna read some of this because I haven't done a case watch in a minute. So some of this I would be refreshing myself on, and it's probably be a repeat to y'all, but I just want to see what it says. So why I'm getting this up? So let me oh, about the lady the lady on the attorney on that was on Sylvia's channel, she gave such clear information about the case. Hold on, let me see, make sure I got the behavior. Okay, let me make sure I get this right. I'm setting it up, y'all. Well, anyway, so she was talking about just some stuff that it's pretty much a review for us, but it may not be for all. But anyway, I love the fact that she kind of touched upon like the RICO a little bit. So as we know, as I've explained, that they had to use RICO in order to tie in a lot of those old charges. Okay, because with the RICO and with federal crimes, and with federal indictments, the statute of limitation runs when the crime was discovered or founded. Okay, so that's when it starts. And then you have 5 years to charge them. It's 5 years. So now it's 5 years, but the discovery rule can toll the statute of limitation. Okay, so I gave you those two words in there: the discovery rule and then the word toll. And the word toll just simply means it causes the clock, the imaginary clock of statute of limitations to stop, to pause, or however you want to look at it. That's for federal. When it comes to state, each state statute of limitations run differently, but it's usually when the statute of limitation is when the crime was committed, or it was when I'm sorry, not when the crime was committed, when the crime was discovered, or when the crime ended. Okay, and when I say ended, you have some crimes like conspiracy, or some let's see, some kind of financial crimes, things of that nature, that somebody may start getting into trouble in May, but they may not stop getting into trouble until November. Well, that in the end of that crime, which would be November, that's when that statute of limitation clock will start running. So yeah, so that again answers again why they're able to add all those old charges in there. Now, when it comes to RICO and trying to determine the statute of the limitation as well, it also is broken down by the predicate acts, right? So the predicate act actually in the RICO would determine the statute of limitation. So remember, most of the crimes, the statute of limitations for most of the crimes for feds is 5 years. However, there are some crimes that have a different limitation. So when it comes to RICO, they use the predicate act to establish which what would be the statute of limitation. So just for instance, so one of R. Kelly's crime under the predicate act is the Mann Act. If that's the predicate act, then they will look for the statute of limitation for that particular crime. That is how that works. If it had been murder, if it's a RICO and predicate act was murder, as there is no statute of limitation for murder. So also, something else I wanted to point out, just for you, that anybody that's interested in knowing. statutes are made up of laws and acts, right? The law is broad, and the act is pretty much is the statement of the law. So when you look at the RICO, you see the law, okay, and then when it says Act 1, Act 2, or whatever, that's just the statement of the law. So it's more defined because the law is broad, right? I'm giving you this information because we are going to go through and to make sure that the prosecution is establishing or proving every element of the crime that is required in order to convict someone on a count or a charge. If it was a state, it was probably listed as a charge. It could be listed as a count too. It just depends on what state. So you have the statutes, you have the laws and the acts. Statutes are made up of laws and acts. Then you have rules, right? When you see those FRE 412, 404, all of that, those are rules. The rules specify, gives specifications, right, of the law. With those rules, then you have exceptions. Exceptions modifies the rule. Y'all got that? Let me know if y'all got that. I'll wait. I'm looking up at the monitor now. Hey, Flawless. I ran my little fashion commercial and thought of you. I don't know if you was in here when I ran it, but let me know if y'all got that. Okay, so let me say it one more again. So the statutes are made up of laws and acts. All right. The laws are broad, and the acts are statements of the law. Then you have the rules. The rules just is more specific. It specifies the law. And the exceptions modifies the rules. Also, they sometimes call the rules regulation. All right. Now, when you see the 18 USC, the USC is the code of what they call positive law, right? All right. Thank you, pretty piece. So I'm just giving you these details because I believe that you need to understand what you're reading when you read it. You're not going to have someone there, and really, especially not the guy darn, the court is not going to stop to explain everything that you read, whether it's in indictments and the motions or whatever. It's not going to stop to read it. So if you don't know what you're reading, it may confuse you, but now you can simplify it. So yeah, so just wanted to make sure you guys knew that. So anyway, so let me get on with the first resource. Let me make sure that it is big enough. Hello? Oh shit, y'all can't even. Can y'all see me? Can y'all hear me? Cause I'm not on the damn screen. Hold on. Wait a minute. I done made this shit. Let me know if y'all can hear me. y'all can hear me. Shit, I'm done all this damn talking. Oh, y'all can hear me? Okay, thank you. Oh, okay, thank you. All right, so let me read this particular article. Hold on. All right, so this is going to be a recap for all of us because we already know, heard about this. So this was just it says trial updates R. Kelly sex trafficking case, right? It says day 17, and this was entered in on September 15th, 2021. It says jurors deciding the fate of Robert Kelly viewed a number of videotapes Wednesday, including one that the judge warned may be somewhat upsetting. None of the videotapes or recordings that the jurors view or heard were transmitted to the overflow room, making it exceedingly frustrating for journalists trying to cover the trial. After the prosecutor announced the recordings would be published to the jury, only the court went silent while everyone in the courtroom, what is that, down heads to watch and listen to the videotape. Oh, my damn glasses. Headsets to watch and listen to the videotapes. There were a number of recordings, including a video and an audio recording, purporting to show the defendant physically and verbally abusing and threatening an unidentified woman. The recordings were played over the objections of the defense after the judge ruled they were admissible to show how the defendant maintained control over his alleged victims. Prosecutors also introduced other videos, including a few which featured Kelly, a woman named Dominique, and a male witness by the name of Alex, who testified earlier this week that he met Kelly at one of his parties when he was 17 and eventually became his lover at the age of 20. Okay. Alex testified. All right. Let me know. I know what. I'll read it. So I'm gonna ask you this question, right? I'm gonna ask you. I'm gonna tell, and don't give me the answer until I get back around in the front. All right. It said, I'll reread it. It said prosecutors also introduced other videos, including a few which featured Kelly, a woman named Dominique, and a male witness by the name of Alex, who testified earlier this week that he met Kelly at one of his parties when he was 17 and eventually became his lover at the age of 20. So, tell me this. Since this guy has already testified, and they put the video in after he had left the witness stand. What did I tell you? What is the name of that type of evidence? Don't tell me until I tell you I'm got back around on the front of the screen. I'm gonna see who's listening or who caught it. All right, it says Alex testified that he participated in a number of threesomes that included the defendant. He went on to say that there were countless such sexual encounters and that they were recorded by Kelly on his iPad. Government witness Ryan Chabot, a case agent for the Department of Homeland Security, testified about items recovered from the searches of the defendant's Trump Tower apartment and a storage unit Kelly had. Chabot introduced a number of letters recovered from search warrants. Prosecutors read excerpts from the letters written by some of his alleged victims. The portions read by the prosecutor ranged from the girls groveling and asking for forgiveness for disappointing or failing Kelly in some way. Also among the items recovered in the searches were what appeared to be an altered ID cards for Geronda Pace. The cards reflected a birth date of April 19th, 1990, 3 years older than her actual birth year of 1993. Pace was the government's first witness, testifying that she became sexually involved with the defendant at the age of 16. She described in graphic detail how the defendant allegedly trained her to sexually please him, taking her virginity and giving her herpes. Pace said the defendant knew she was 16 when they had sexual intercourse, but he allegedly told her to pretend to be 19. Let's see. All right, I don't need to go over that. So, all right, I'm coming back around on the screen. So now I know but I just told you tonight what the name of that type of evidence is called, and I've told you I think a couple of times prior to tonight. So again, this is the situation. Let's see. Okay, he's a victim witness. The victim witness has already testified on the stand. The prosecutor is now admitting into evidence a recording of some sort of that particular victim witness. What is that? What is the name of that evidence? What type of evidence would that be considered? If you don't know how to spell it, if you could tell me, if you don't know, tell me that you don't know, so I won't waste a lot of time. While I get this at my refrigerator by my bed. Not exculpatory, but that's not cross-examination. But it does start with the E. It starts with an E. Not exculpatory. What that is called is extrinsic evidence. Extrinsic. Yeah, exculpatory evidence is evidence that helps the defense. That's your Brady, your what Giglio and the Jinx Act and the uh the one for you see, look at my brain. The one no, not exception. So yeah, right. Yeah, so I've only given it to y'all like I think it's like this will be the third time I think I've mentioned it. Right. And it's spelled EXTRINSIC. That's how you can remember that. You know, here hearsay and extrinsic evidence, hearsay evidence and extrinsic evidence, those are both types of evidence that are made outside of the court, right? Intrinsic evidence is inside the court, like when the person is on the stand. Right. Okay. Who can remember? No, that was a video that the prosecutors put in that I would perceive that will hurt the hey, I don't have to sugarcoat it. It will hurt the it will hurt the defendant, the defense. Okay, who can remember what type of who who can remember? I said that most trials are largely made up of this type of evidence. Is it direct evidence or is it circumstantial evidence? The options are direct evidence and circumstantial evidence. While I get this other, y'all let me know. Right. Thank you, pretty piece. It is circumstantial. Good, good. Thanks for the participation. Y'all so smart. Y'all are so smart. Ooh, I love it here. I love it with y'all. Thank you, Mocha. Yes, that is the right answer. Is this the let me make sure. Let me make sure I'm putting on the right. I'm trying to get these articles up as they come out. Okay. Now, this article. All right. So let me give you again while I'm getting this article up. Okay. Remember this. Statutes are made out of laws and acts. Rules specify the laws, and exceptions modify the what. Exceptions modify the what. While I get this other article up. I know I just gave that to you guys a few minutes ago. Let me make this big so you guys can see. When I tell y'all the best, baby, because y'all ass be willing to teach and learn at any time, and I sure do appreciate it. Can't thank y'all enough. So while y'all think about that, I am going to read this article. Now this says former R. Kelly assistant testifies about singer's sexual activity apology letter. Okay, there. This is from that lady. Okay. It says a former assistant to R. Kelly testified on Friday she once saw him engage in sexual activity with one of the women he is charged with abusing. As prosecutors neared the end of presenting their sex trafficking case against the R&B singer. On the 18th day of testimony at Kelly's trial in federal court in Brooklyn, Cheryl Mack, the mother of music producer London on the Track, said she saw the woman began to massage Kelly while backstage at a Connecticut concert where he was performing. Huh? What later? Okay. That was kind of my cue to leave, Max said. I was very uncomfortable. She said that as she left the room, she caught a glimpse of the woman moving her head toward Kelly's groin. Mack also said Kelly lost his temper in 2015 after she supposedly ruined a surprise birthday party for a former stylist, Cash Howard, and had her sign an apology letter that included false claims she accepted kickback from booking agents. Huh? Huh? Well, what that got to do with anything? Wait a minute. Let me. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Mack also said Kelly lost his temper in 2015 after she supposedly ruined a surprise birthday party for former stylist Cash Howard and had her sign an apology letter that included false claims she accepted kickbacks from booking agents. The hell is that? For what? Okay. Hmm. Says, I apologize out of fear, Max said. Several witnesses have testified that Kelly made them write apology letters purportedly to absolve him of misconduct, but which prosecutors could use to illustrate the tight control that witnesses have said Kelly demanded over those around him. Friday's final prosecution witness was Don Hughes, a clinical psychologist who discussed how people might groom underage girls for sex and how victims cope with the trauma. Defense lawyers are expected to cross examine her on Monday. Hmm. Okay. All right. Okay. Psychologists who discussed how people might groom underage girls for sex. Okay. Kelly 54 has pleaded not guilty to charges over his alleged grooming and preying on women and girls as far back as mid 1990s when he shot to stardom with music including the 1996 smash I Believe I Can Fly. The singer, whose real name is RSK, faces one count of racketeering and 8 counts of illegally transporting people across state lines for prostitution. Kelly's indictment said he abused 6 women and underage girls, including the singer Aaliyah, who Kelly met illegally in 1994 when she was 15. Aaliyah died in a 2001 plane crash. Uh, Prosecution witnesses have said Kelly instilled instilled fear as he demanded they follow his stringent rules, including by having women and girls call him daddy, and punish those who disobeyed, including by demanding unwanted sex. Kelly's lawyers have tried to portray his accusers as fans who once hoped to capitalize on the singer's fame but felt jilted. Okay, okay. And questioned why they and former employees failed to leave Kelly sooner or go to the police. Devereaux Canick, one of Kelly's lawyers, tried to tried while cross-examining Mack to show jurors she should have known not to sign an apology letter, given that she was in her late 40s and had many years of music industry experience. I wasn't thinking at all, Mack told him. The trial began on August 18th. Kelly has faced sexual abuse accusations for nearly 2 decades. Scrutiny increased after the Me Too movement began in late 2017 and Lifetime aired the documentary Surviving R. Kelly in January 2019. Kelly also faces sex related charges in Illinois and Minnesota. Okay. Wow. All right, I'm coming around the front. Wow. Okay, okay. And the actual answer to that is circumstantial. Right. So the largely so what I said is circumstantial is a kind of evidence, but it's a type of evidence that rather than have something direct like a gun or something like that, it's alleging or suggesting that a crime occurred, right? And that's what it is. All right, good job, y'all. Good job. Let's see. It was something that caught my eye in one of these articles. I think I'm gonna get to it. This might be it. Hold on, let me see. Y'all doing good? Do I need to cut an article short or something? Y'all let me know. Let me know how we doing with the time. How we doing with the time? Let me read this. Let me know if we doing how we doing with the time. So this is Friday. All right. This article says with prosecutors wrapping their case at R. Kelly's federal racketeering trial in New York, focus shifting to singer's defense. Oh, this should be good. I want to put this reader on. I said I wasn't gonna do it no more because it's boring, but I'm gonna do it because I want to get on there around there with y'all. Oh shit! What the hell?
CSX, a growing Fortune 500 transportation and logistics company, has immediate openings for freight train conductors in Jacksonville and
Sorry, y'all. I'm coming. I don't know if y'all can hear me still. I'm messing around. Hit a button.
surrounding areas. If you are looking for a rewarding career with paid training, competitive benefits, and you share a passion for great service, apply today at csx.com/careers. That's csx.com/careers. CSX, committed to supporting military and veteran families and their communities. CSX is an equal opportunity affirmative action employer that supports
I don't know what this thing is doing. Sorry, y'all.
diversity in the workplace.
With prosecutors wrapping their case at R. Kelly's federal racketeering trial in New York, focus shifting to Singer's defense. After 4 weeks and an avalanche of witnesses portraying R. Kelly as the predatory ringleader of a long-running criminal enterprise, federal prosecutors in Brooklyn are expected to rest their case in chief as soon as Monday. And then, all eyes will turn to the Singer's defense. The defense's case is expected to be significantly shorter. One of Kelly's current girlfriends could testify. The defense is also likely to call an expert to refute Kelly's doctor's testimony regarding his sexual health. The disgraced singer himself has the right to take the stand in his own defense, though that seems unlikely and inadvisable given that his last public statements in an interview with Gayle King led to a tempestuous, now infamous outburst. But Kelly's current legal team has proved unpredictable, and there is a chance they put him on the stand if they think they need a Hail Mary. And the decision to testify technically lies solely with Kelly himself, so he could decide to take the stand regardless of his attorney's advice. But overall, as in most criminal trials, the bulk of their case has already come out in their cross-examination of prosecution witnesses, many of whom met Kelly in Chicago and interacted with him at his suburban mansion, his former residence at Trump Tower, or the old Rock and Roll McDonald's. Through their questions, the defense has tried to paint a far different picture of the singer. Kelly as a soft-spoken gentleman who would stand up whenever a woman would enter the room, a generous boyfriend who showered his partners with money and gifts, now besieged by turncoat accusers who are lying out of greed or spite. Kelly was not the head of a criminal enterprise, they say. The group functioned more like a happy family. Kelly is facing decades in prison if he is convicted in the racketeering case. Prosecutors allege that for decades he exploited his status as the king of Randy to draw vulnerable people into his orbit, then systematically manipulate and sexually abuse them. It is the first of Kelly's many criminal cases to go to trial. He also faces federal charges in Chicago, as well as 4 separate Cook County indictments and a case in Minnesota. So far, prosecutors' evidence has largely fallen into 2 categories. There has been copious testimony from Kelly's accusers, many of whom said they met with him in hopes of advancing their show business careers. Instead, they said, they found themselves pressured into unwanted sex, bound by strict rules about what they could wear, when they could use the bathroom, and where they could move, and punished harshly when they disobeyed. In addition, prosecutors have called as witnesses many of Kelly's alleged enablers, managers, assistants, and a runner who testified about the way Kelly treated his girlfriends and underlings. To prove their case, prosecutors must convince the jury that Kelly did not act alone, that in fact he was the head of an organized effort to help him prey on his alleged victims. But the defense's cross-examination has mostly focused on poking holes in the individual accusers' stories and casting doubt on their credibility. Some questions veered toward classic victim blaming, including asking one witness how she was dressed and whether she danced provocatively for Kelly. But most questions simply tried to shade the accusers as untruthful, motivated by money or spite. When Faith took the stand earlier this month, she said Kelly subjected her to degrading sex acts and strict rules. At least once, she had to wait hours for his permission to use the bathroom, she said. In addition, she testified, Kelly gave her herpes after having unprotected sex without disclosing that he had the infection. And after she filed a lawsuit against him, her lawyer received threatening letters, indicating that nude pictures of Faith would leak if she did not drop the case. Afterward, the photo circulated on Facebook anyway, she testified. On cross-examination, defense attorney Deborah O'Kannick noted that Faith continued to fly around the country to see Kelly, even after having the kind of sex she said was degrading and unwanted. So, after all that, after being forced to perform oral sex on him, after being intimidated by him because he had a gun next to him as he spoke to you, and leaving you behind, you went to visit him again, he asked. Correct, she said. Your choice, right? He responded. When prosecutors rose to respond, they put the focus instead on Kelly's choices. The defendant chose to ignore you when you said you weren't comfortable with sex, correct? Prosecutor Nadia Shiata asked. In Los Angeles, the defendant chose to grab the back of your head, put his penis in your mouth, keep his hand pushing towards his penis with a gun next to him, correct? Correct, Faith said. On occasion, the defense tried to ask about witnesses' sexual histories, a line of inquiry that is strictly out of bounds for alleged victims of sexual abuse, unless the defense asks permission well ahead of time and a judge grants it. When Kannick asked one witness, Anna, if she had hooked up with a football player while visiting home during her time with Kelly, Judge and M. Donnelly spoke to the lawyers in a sidebar. I know my lips are moving when we're having this conversation, but sometimes I feel like the sound isn't coming out, she told the attorneys, according to a transcript of the sidebar. Because I know the issue is, as we've discussed on prior occasions, is that you have to make an application to ask those kinds of questions. Kannick said he didn't mean hook up in a sexual way, he only meant to show that Anna was dating other men. On occasion, the defense asked witnesses about their parents, apparently in hopes that jurors would view them as conspiring with their daughters to squeeze money out of Kelly. The effect may have backfired with one witness, Jane, showing her as a victim twice over. First of her parents, then of Kelly. She testified that her parents used to beat her to get her to practice her music, and that after she first encountered Kelly, her mother would text him, pretending to be her. Her parents also tried to approach Kelly about various business ventures, she said, which the defense brought out in hopes that they would view Jane as part of an attempted extortion. In a testy sidebar after prosecutors objected to Kannick's line of questioning, Donnelly warned Kannick that he might not have the effect he was hoping. I ruled pre-trial that even if the parents had pushed her into a relationship with him, that is, obviously, not a defense, she said. I take it your argument is that they are, basically, stage parents that don't really care about their child's welfare and have turned sort of a blind eye to what's happened to her, but I don't know how helpful that is to your case. The defense has largely conceded that Kelly had many girlfriends, that they would sometimes need his permission to move around, and that they were sexually active. But the defense has tried to show it all as innocuous, or even wholesome. Their movements might have been restricted for their own good when security was sparse, they have indicated. And the whole group functioned like a family, celebrating holidays together and throwing lavish parties and exchanging gifts. But both things can be true at once, some witnesses said. Kelly was caring and kind up until he wasn't. I got to see a compassionate side of him, emotional side. He wasn't always bad. He wasn't always mean, Faith testified. I also saw him, there were times where he would flip, just extremely calm, then go to like being super sexually hyper, just different phases, just depending on how he was feeling, in the moods he was in. And on Wednesday, prosecutors played tapes that they said provided definitive proof that Kelly was abusive and violent. Jurors listened to recordings that court papers have characterized as violent and extremely profane, in which Kelly threatens a woman who he believes stole from him. People get murdered for doing things like that, he allegedly said. The prosecution's final two witnesses took the stand on Friday. The first, Cheryl Mack, a former assistant to Kelly, testified she saw one of Kelly's alleged victims begin to massage Kelly while backstage at a Connecticut concert where he was performing, according to Reuters. I was very uncomfortable, she testified, saying as she left the room she caught a glimpse of the woman moving her head toward Kelly's groin, Reuters reported Friday. Mack also said Kelly lost his temper in 2015 after she supposedly ruined a surprise birthday party for former stylist Cash Howard, the Wire service reported, and had her sign an apology letter that included false claims she accepted kickbacks from booking agents. I apologized out of fear, Mack said, according to the Reuters report. Defense lawyers on Monday are expected to cross-examine the government's final witness, Don Hughes, a clinical psychologist who has outlined how people might groom underage girls for sex and how victims cope with the trauma. Closing arguments are expected as soon as next week. Crapo at ChicagoTribune.com. Meisner at ChicagoTribune.com.
Whoa, okay, man. I wish I would have read that one. That was loaded with some stuff. I wish I would have read that one. Let me get this one off my screen. Hold on. All right. Yes, I wish I would have read that one. But that was loaded with a bunch of stuff that was knowledgeable. And I don't want to waste y'all time trying to go back through it, not to read it, but just to pick out some stuff, but just something that stuck out. Right. So I heard one YouTuber was, and of course I'm not gonna say the name, but I'm not gonna say why I'm not gonna say the name because I might just do it. But you get a lot of people always wanna comment or criticize on the way that you present your stuff, on your channel, and whatever, that you don't do a good job, this, that, and the third, as if they would do an even better job. Those are the people that I like to get back with, right? Because that's just how it is. To me, if you're criticizing somebody about how they do, how they present their shit on their channel, what have you, that indicates to me that you could do it better, right? Or that you better do it better if I'm listening, especially if you're doing something that's in my wheelhouse. So I heard somebody try to talk about RICO and the defense strategies. So I haven't, finished listening to that, but I had to hear that. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, you heard the article, the reader on the article tell you that when it comes to, where in the hell this thing popped up? When it comes to cases that's involving sexual abuse, remember what I told you guys? With sexual abuse, that could be physical abuse, that could be, depending on the jurisdiction, state or what have you, it could be STDs, it could be a whole bunch of stuff. But I want to say physical, I'm going to talk about the physical abuse part of it because, like I told you guys, physical abuse could be in a sexual abuse crime, but sexual abuse cannot be in a domestic abuse crime, right? So she was saying, this YouTuber was saying that she would ask the victim witness or accuser, and I'm trying to use the terminology that they have, but when I say victim witness, you know what I mean, accusers, right? So I'm going to say accusers. She would ask them all about who they've been with, stuff which constitutes as their sexual history. So I'm not trying to get nobody to come over and listen to us and listen to my ass, whether you like me or not, whatever. You can stay in the bushes to do it, whatever, or you don't have to do it at all. That's not what this is about for me, right? This is always about knowledge because I swear you find so many black people or people that have low income or what have you that can't afford attorneys or what have you. I mean, damn near do 10 years in jail for traffic tickets. And reason being is just that they don't have the information or access to the information, the knowledge or whatever. And sometimes, if it's something free, if it's free knowledge, whatever, if you can get it, you know, or and as well as if you don't want to take it from me or somebody else, whatever, if I bring up something, whatever, if you have a law library or you have access to legal resources or what have you, try to look it up. And, kind of steer away from just Googling and what have you, because a lot of the information, well, I ain't gonna say a lot of it, but some of it is incorrect or inconsistent. So, you cannot ask victims, accusers of sex crimes because there is something called the Rape Victim Shield Law that prohibits that, as well as Rule 412, which is what you saw all through the paperwork, especially those motions and those motions in limine. Okay, you can't question a accuser about their sexual history. This is where the pro-Kels people need to listen up to that because I know that you guys have a lot of questions about, well, why the lawyer didn't do this, why the lawyer didn't say that, why the judge seemed like she was allowing this and she didn't, and where it looks like it's being unfair to R. Kelly. And this is why, if you remember, going back a year or more, closer to two, I said that you have to attack these laws. Okay, have to attack these laws. And when you attack laws, and maybe, and if just say if you're successful, when they go to make amendments and changes to the laws or what have you, it's going to be retro. And I hate to speak in absolutes, so I'm going to say 9 out of 10 times it's going to be retro. So it could have been a situation, just say if he is convicted, you successfully get the law changed, then he could be a benefactor of that change that you fought to get through. So, like I gave the example, when I give y'all stories about my treacherous, horrible, goddamn personal life when it comes to dating and shit like that. The murderer, the guy that I dated, went on to murder the next girlfriend he got. And I show y'all the article. He murdered the lady he got pregnant as well as the baby. He was on death row for killing the baby. And like I told you, people thought that I maybe helped him write his motions. But no, I did not. I haven't had any contact with that guy. He wrote his own motion and got off of death row because he found the loophole that would for 2 years, and that was during the time he was sentenced to death. The the death penalty was on hold or something like that for those 2 years. Now he's just sentenced to life. So, you know, sometimes, I mean, you don't have to like give nobody credit for saying, I don't, I have students for that, and then I've already trained and taught a lot of people, and I check on their success. That's how I measure how successful I am because I want them to exceed and shit, do loops and laps and shit around me. I mean, outperform me at every turn. The same as I, hope that my child would do, and anybody that I come in contact with. That's just, how I am. Not a selfish person when it comes to that. Don't need to be first. Don't need to be exclusive. Don't need to be the only one in the lane. Don't need to be the top. Don't need to be none of that shit. Okay? So, Candy would not be able to ask them anything about their sexual history unless, and for some strange reason, I'm not sure what would be the reason the judge will allow him to ask anything with regards to that. I know a lot of people are still floating around here thinking that, keep arguing about who gave whom the STD and this, that, and the third. And I keep telling you, none of that makes sense. I mean, I'm not going to put it like, okay, well, maybe I'm going to put it like this, maybe so you can understand. There's a lot of people that done had STDs and shit like that and passed it to each other. Do you think that, wouldn't it make sense for you to believe that with having that knowledge, that information that people have given out, a lot of people getting each other goddamn diseases and shit like that, incurable or curable. When don't you think the damn jailhouse would be full with those type of people? Okay, that's not what the law in this case resides on. I told you, the prosecutor has to prove the date. That's why, the date R. Kelly allegedly knew or was notified that he had STD or had a reasonable idea that he had an STD was kind of debated a little bit in the courtroom. Okay? That's number one. Number two, the crime lies in the exposure and him not telling his sexual partners and being granted consent to have sex. Not who gave it to who first. So please, take this back to him. And if you don't have to believe me, look it up. Or whatever, ask somebody else. Now, the defense may spend a little time on it, trying to say somebody gave it to him, this, that, and the third, whatever. That's a strategy. That's a strategy to kind of fool the jury. And again, if the prosecutor does, just like the prosecutor has to has to object to things like form and all those type of hearsay and all those type of objections and stuff, because he can slip one in and the prosecutor totally misses it and the jury accepts it as a part of the case and base their deliberations on. So Kenny may get up there and have a time with, okay, well, this person had it first, this person gave it to R. Kelly, blah, 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 blah. If the prosecutor don't bring home, don't tie it all together, don't, present this what it is and what, then, hey, the verdict, may not go as some people, would expect. I'm just giving you, my honest answer. That's just what I'm doing. So you have to know that information, what it's supposed to be, but what the defense may come up because it's their turn to present their case in chief. Does anybody know what case in chief means? Oh yeah, Sharice, I'm looking up at the screen now. Hey Sharice, man, does anybody know what case in chief means? I know I said it on the last live. Does anybody know what case in chief means? But yeah, so that's how that would work. And shout out to, I think it was Debowski was the one where I saw that brought that BNC network to me. I don't know who else was playing it first, but to the sector, because I was able to subscribe to them, and now I get, I've been catching a couple of their little videos, and I saw where a former prosecutor said the same thing, something like the same thing, saying like he's waiting. I think I'll be able to play it tonight. I don't know how long y'all want to hang out, but where he's saying that he is looking, he didn't quite feel like the prosecutor actually, binded the case together. The same thing I was saying, in a way where you got to really nail it and give it to that jury so they can understand. And he was kind of waiting for that. Well, I mean, hell, they say they rested on, Monday. Are they going to do it in their summation? So I don't know. But it would be nice to see. Also, we didn't see them do it. I didn't see too much where they were, kind of cementing it, if you will, enough for me to where I could say, well, the jury can. I feel like they did it, pretty good job or whatever. So where this should be easy. That's some of those exchanges you saw between me, Killer, and I. When he swore, he heard this, that, whatever, and that, and that's fine. I'm gonna let Killer have all of that. But I know for me, I just need a little, I need something else for me to say that, okay, the prosecution has simplified it, has, gotten the case in such a way the way they could, hand it over to the jury. Okay. Also, we did see this for me. We did see a lot of the strategy. I did, the strategy, and like a little mini strategies that the defense may add to its main strategy in defending this case starting next week. I caught a lot of that. One thing that I wanted to point out, and I forgot to point it out, is that I don't know about you guys, but when I listened to the defense as they spoke to John Doe number 1 and 2, I can kind of see. Now, maybe I'm wrong. Let me know if y'all heard anything different. I can kind of see that they conceded that R. Kelly is bisexual. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you how I could tell. One, when they looked at the evidence with regards to John Doe 1 and 2, this is my mind. We're not in there we're not on the defense team. We're not in the court house with them. But in my mind, when they looked at the evidence that the prosecutor was presented with regards to John Doe number 1 and 2, I believe that's when they really added those those questions to their jury questionnaire, right? Because it was see, let me tell you how you could tell, right? So we know, if I'm not mistaken, they had that information about John Doe number 1 and 2. They was going back and forth saying it in the motions. Maybe it was the evidence, right? Maybe it was some additional evidence, or the fact that they saw that witness list and saw that they were going to testify when they got that uncharged act. When they got that uncharged act, they said, okay, these guys are coming to court. I think that's when they made those requests to add those questions to that questionnaire to ask about how do you feel about homosexual relationships. Right. So it was a part of the 3,500 material. I believe when they saw that John Doe number 1 and 2 was going to, because why wouldn't those questions be in there earlier, sooner? Why did they just ask for those questions to be added, right? So I believe they conceded that R. Kelly is bisexual. Yes, right. They on them tapes, all of that. So that's how, and that's just one of my little ways that I could kind of figure out what's those are methods I use. That's one simple one that I use to try to figure out what's going on with each side. What are they trying to convey? What are they trying to prove? Or what are they trying to how they try to defend their case. You know, defend their case. So yeah, so I kind of figured that. Let me see. So what else did she say? So, and a case in chief just simply means the presentation of a case by either party or side or what have you. So next week it's going to be the defense case in chief, right? So that's what that word meant. Let me see. Yeah, we're doing a lot of legal ease now. I'm trying to because I think you guys can handle a lot of the you guys are smart as hell. You guys can handle a lot of the conversations and the information that goes on. So, but yeah, so that was a loaded article. I wish I would have read that. So let me see. If y'all doing all right, I'll go ahead to the last article I have. Y'all let me know if y'all doing all right, so I can go to the last one, the next one. While I set it up, but see if I can get. Oh, hey, secret sister, yeah, yeah, circumstantial. Yeah, but I think they are conceding that he. So we don't know. We only read what was in the uncharged acts. Maybe how they met. How R. Kelly met John Doe number 1 and 2 or what have you. But we not really. And then the information that they testified to, well, that was testimonial. So I mean, circumstantial. Then you back that up with somebody on the video. Was John Doe number 1 and 2 in one of those videos, or was it shit? John Doe number 2 is that nephew? John Doe number 2 is nephew. Well, let me go to this other article. And I sure do appreciate y'all for hanging on in there with me. But this title grabbed me, so okay, yeah, this is a let me put this on the screen. Let me know if y'all good. All right, I see. I see the yes. Okay, let me put this one up on here. All right, we have. Okay, and we read. It says, make sure y'all can see this. Hold on. This computer's moving so damn slow. Let me make sure y'all can see it. Okay. All right, and we read. Okay, it says R. Kelly behavior mirrors abuse tactics. Expert witness says prosecutors inch closer on Friday to concluding their case at the R. Kelly sex trafficking trial, calling two final witnesses to try to further cement allegations he groomed young victims for unwanted sex in episodes dating to the 1990s. I'm glad y'all use the word cemented. That's what I'd be using. All right, one witness was a former assistant for the R&B singer who echoed testimony of other ex-employees describing his mercurial behavior and the control he exerted on everyone around him. The other was an expert witness on abusive relationships who is to return. Fucking glasses. Hold on, y'all. Sorry. Okay. The other was an expert witness on abusive relationships who is to return to the witness stand for cross examination on Monday before the government rests. The expert psychologist Don Hughes testified about studies showing that many abusers systematically isolate, demean, subjugate, and spy on their victims as means of control, all tactics allegedly used by Kelly. Generally speaking, it isn't unusual for powerful people like Kelly to be surrounded by underlings who knew about it and didn't do anything, Hughes says. Okay, let me see what this person is testifying to. Hold on. Hold on. Okay. All right. So pretty much the prosecutor's trying to get out in front of people saying that why the other people didn't get charged, as well as saying that the other people of the enterprise carried out these abusive tactics and things of that nature, but not R. Kelly himself. So, they're getting in front of that strategy. So they're trying to buckle down those three B's. And what are those three B's? At the behest of R. Kelly, on behalf of R. Kelly, and R. Kelly is the one that benefited. All right. And we read, it says the defense was expected to begin put on its case later Monday, with closing arguments possible before the end of the week at New York City trial that began on August 18th. The 54-year-old defendant, born RSK, has pleaded not guilty to racketeering charges, accusing him of running a Chicago-based enterprise of managers, bodyguards, and other employees who helped him recruit and transport his victims. That alleged travel violated the Mann Act, which makes it illegal to transport anyone across state lines for the purpose of sexual exploitation. The Grammy-winning artist has vehemently denied the charges, claiming that the women were groupies who wanted to take advantage of his fame and fortune until the Me Too movement turned them against him. Wow, okay. Wow, okay. So Court TV done got wind of what they think the defense is going to be as well. Okay. So yeah. So you see now why the prosecutor is, may put on witnesses like, certain type of experts. That's in order to try to streamline their case, to try to make that case make sense and answer a lot of questions, as well as rule out certain things. There are you can't just get up there and say, "Hey Jerry, look here, R. Kelly did all this stuff, and it's not, and he was at the top of this enterprise. He had all these people doing these things for him. They were his employees. They were made not to ask questions and all of that type of stuff. These people, probably need their jobs and blah blah blah, this and the third, whatever. Throughout the case, you just can't plainly state it like that. So you have to get evidence in a special type of way. Also, you got to still deal with those rules as well as those exceptions, right? That come into play that I was giving y'all the definitions for. So, And on top of that, they still have to make sure that the jury understands the RICO and make sure they understand why, whether it be through the jury instruction, through the the testimonies, the evidence, the summation, the opening, any of that. They make sure what the RICO is for, why they use it, and how it functions, and how the jury can find R. Kelly guilty using this RICO. So they have to do a whole bunch of stuff. So, yeah. All right, let me see. Let me see what type of other update. So which one? All right, let me go to Court TV. If y'all hanging on in there, let me look for a couple resources. Oh, also, Robert Durst. They found Robert Durst guilty. Finally, so maybe he can get off the screen, and we can use that time to look at the R. Kelly case. Hey, I told you that man killed all them people. He did everything he was accused of. In his case, when he was trying, I don't know, and I don't want to, but I'll say it like this. I'll say it's a possibility that how he was charged. Maybe California have their laws specified as well as like you know it's just more expansive than just saying okay, you murder somebody, but then it could be like you murder somebody and you use weapons to cut up the body and you burn them or whatever, right? Usually when some states have laws expressed like that, like in Chicago when it said I thought it was at first I thought it was what we call a special circumstance, but when they said that R. Kelly was with this person that was a minor and he was more than 5 years their senior. I think that their actually law actually reads like that. Normally, and I don't know if somebody can remember about maybe a year or so ago, normally those things are called special circumstances, right? And it requires the prosecutors, hold on, it requires the prosecutors to prove both the actual charge, the charge, as well as the special circumstance. So, and normally, like just say if it was a second degree murder and a person's max is like 15 years, that special circumstance can take a 15-year charge to life in prison. Like they have, some states have like murder, and but you killed the parent in front of their toddler, right? Most of the time, that's called special circumstance, and that would take, like I said, like a regular crime that would get like 15 years to life. All right, I'm trying to look for the video. TV, and then we're gonna talk a little bit. If y'all have some questions, and we're gonna get out of here. But anyway, yeah, they got Robert Durst. Finally, he done been on there what, months? Hold on, y'all. Trying to get that video to come up. Let me know if y'all good. If y'all ain't talking to me, y'all can talk to each other till I get it to play. Let me get it up. Okay. Let me share it. I got to come up. Let me share it. Thank y'all for your patience. I'm sharing it, y'all.
All right, more images from inside the courtroom in the trial of R&B superstar R. Kelly. No cameras in there due to the Supreme Court of the United States, Chief Justice Roberts. But R. Kelly there, you can see him with the mask, has his glasses on, listening to the case against him being brought by prosecutors, charging him with running a criminal enterprise so he could abuse young women and girls. Court TV legal correspondent Julie Janae joins us live from Brooklyn, New York tonight with the latest from inside the courtroom. I heard there was a witness today, and things got a little bit emotional at times.
Things got emotional today. This was the prosecution wrapping up their case in chief in front of this jury, and there was a witness on the stand who not only broke down several times, but she even felt faint to the point that we had to stop court and allow her to compose herself. That's Cheryl Mack. She was first a executive assistant, or rather she was an executive assistant for him later, but she was initially someone who was a talent manager who booked different clients who were aspiring singers, and she connected them with R. Kelly. He collaborated with a couple of her clients. These were young women, 18 years old, some of them 19 years old. And she talked about a very serious situation once where Kelly told her she needed to come to Chicago immediately from Atlanta about one of the women that she connected him with, who was only being named in court as Precious. Now take a look at some of that testimony. She said in court that he told me Precious was going to file a lawsuit, and I needed to pick a team, either Team Precious or Team Kelly. This was around the time that he was going to be performing at the World Cup, and it was important. And then she says he told her, generally in these situations, people come up missing. She said she took that to be a threat. That is how she fared on direct examination. And it was really difficult for her to talk about that in particular. She said she really didn't work with him very much after that. But then on cross-examination, we learned more about her interactions with Kelly. She actually worked for him from 2013 to 2015. That pick a team comment was in 2010 when she was just recommending girls and women to him. She said that statement did frighten her, but she did not report it to police because she just felt that it wasn't something that she needed to report, but she distanced herself from him. She also talked about on cross that she had a book deal in the works that had to be looked at, or she had a proposal that she was giving to other people to look at, and she said she did exaggerate some facts in that to make it appealing to other people. But during that cross-examination, she asked the court for a break privately. The jury didn't know about it. I can tell you she had a very strong demeanor before that break. After that, she was very timid on cross-examination by Deborah O'Connor.
Things are winding down for prosecutors, right? They're getting close to wrapping up their case. Tell me about the forensic psychologist who testified.
Vinny, this is actually their last witness. Prosecutors are done with their direct examination of this witness. Dr. Dawn Hughes was the one who told this jury or explained the psychology and science behind interpersonal violence. She explained to them, she's a clinical forensic psychologist, and she explained grooming, how it's a form of bonding with a child through gifts and attention and mentorship to ultimately gain compliance from that child. And she said, even though sometimes there are details that the person who is in this abusive relationship doesn't remember, she wanted them to remember it's an event. It's not an event, rather. It's a process. It's not a behavior. It's a pattern. She walked them through some of the ways that abusers gain control over people in their relationship, that they use secrecy, they use surveillance, they use shame. A lot of those buzzwords that we've heard through the testimony of not only accusers, but some of those former employees who have taken the stand in this case.
All right, Julie Janae, stand by. I want to bring back in our think tank, get a little bit of reaction here. We've got Bernardo Villalona, Ian Freeman, and Brian Watkins. Brian, I've been a little skeptical of the whole criminal enterprise aspect of the allegations here, but I think I'm turning around on that, because testimony like people come up missing, to me that sounds like someone who's kind of like running an enterprise, because it reminds me of like a mobster, right? And that's what RICO originally, was brought into the forefront of federal prosecutions, was to go after mob bosses, right? And when people come up missing, to me sounds kind of mobby, kind of like a criminal enterprise, Brian.
This is the worst, misuse of the federal government's resources to prosecute someone for racketeering. This is the worst use of that statute I've ever seen. Racketeering is for the mafia, where they're running a pizza place that doesn't sell any pizza. In fact, all it's used is to package drugs. That is a criminal enterprise. To say that a person became a singer to get girls and call that racketeering and put him away for life is outrageous to me. Okay, he's immoral. But what they're charging him with and saying that he did, luring women to have sex with him, multiple women, he's not, there's not a crime. It may be immoral, but it's not a crime. Having sex with underage women, yes, that's statutory rape. He's not being charged with that. And to say that he just his whole music career was based on and only set up for him having sex with women, I think is outrageous, and it shows how when the federal government wants to reach far, they can reach far.
Ian, do you agree? Are they reaching too far here, the feds?
I don't like how the feds typically do use the RICO statute. You're right, Vinny. Of course, this was designed for the mafia. I see it used all the time, kind of low-hanging fruit. Here, though, the case keeps developing and developing. And as we spoke 4 weeks ago about this, when you asked me what my thoughts were, I said, we're going to have to see how this case goes. I want to see all the evidence is coming in. The way these witnesses keep taking the stand, doesn't matter if I like it or not how the feds use it. Can a jury find that the elements necessary for it are there? Yes. And I'll tell you where it's going to hurt. You're talking about sexual abuse of minors, right? It's the worst thing that someone could be charged with in a court of law. And here you have 11 victims coming forward. And that smoke and fire concept kind of really just resonates with jurors that need to protect and so forth. And so really, they were handicapped from minute one on this case because the 11 came forward. I'm starting to see this evidence kind of formulate, and it looks as though, to me, although it's not over yet, they can make this case.
Bernarda, your thoughts about the jury in Brooklyn, New York? I know it's federal court, so the range of jurors is a little bit larger. Are they going to buy this as a criminal enterprise?
I'll tell you this, Vinny. So I was in the courtroom today when Dr. Hughes testified, and I think because of the testimony of Dr. Hughes and her rationale for the way victims act and why they act the way they do, that the prosecution is going to be able to explain to the jury what this enterprise was and how those people that work for R. Kelly, managers, bodyguards, his brother, how they assisted in holding down these females, keeping them in these rooms, giving them phone numbers so they can reach out to R. Kelly. Breaking that down, they're going to be able to prove an enterprise for this jury to be able to understand. I was a bit nervous in the beginning, but now as the days are going by, it seems that the prosecution is being able to prove this enterprise. Do I like it? I don't. I'm with Brian, I'm with Ian. I don't like how the RICO statute was used in this case.
Let's bring back in Julie Janae, Court TV legal correspondent. What's on tap for Monday?
Cross-examination of Dr. Dawn Hughes. So the defense team will be able to ask her questions about the psychology behind what she testified about today, but that will really be it. The prosecution does not have any more witnesses, so the defense will then start this case. We don't know much about their witnesses. The prosecution doesn't either. They say they haven't gotten a list yet, but the defense team says they promise they'll get it to them by midnight tonight.
All right, Julia Janae in Brooklyn tonight. We'll speak again on Monday. Go ahead.
Where is Killer when you need him? What the hell done happened? is killer when you need them. Now, ain't often I get to toot my goddamn own horn. But since I'm back here, toot. Okay. Remember when I said that the case wasn't no slam dunk? Remember when I said that I wasn't convinced about all the proving of the this and that and whatever? 3 other attorneys up there was talking about, they was skittish, blah, blah, blah. Now as it's developing, they feel a little bit, more like what, that they're proving the elements. Remember I said you got to prove the elements of the case? Dom and I was up here and we went through that pretty extensively when we was talking. I said you have to prove the evidence. I just said that they waiting on the prosecutor to prove that. Okay, you know, explain away how these other people actually carried out these things or whatever, and why they didn't report it, why they just went ahead and did it, this, that, and the third, what have you. God damn it, I feel vindicated. Only problem is, Killer ain't here to see it. I need him to see it. Somebody shed his life directly to his ass. Yes. Damn. Yes. Where the hell is Killer? Y'all in here arguing and screaming about something else, Lord. Y'all the anger goddamn mob. That's what y'all shouldn't have called an anger mob. But yeah, Killer, where you at? Where you at? I told you that them people hadn't just right off proved that shit. But nah, your ass ain't here. But to be fair, he did give me my props the other night when he called me. I was, like I told you, I was in the middle of listening to Diva read off the motion to limit, the last one that just came in, and he called me asking me about it, to talk to me about it, whatever, some stuff about it. And then he said, he gave me my props, what have you. He talking about, now this would have been him and I talking would have been a good live, because I'll be, going through it and, finding it, in the first reading. I'll be digging it out through the mud, getting it out the mud, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, which would have been, that conversation was, really, really powerful in how shit was, how we be figuring shit out or whatever. But yeah, told you, Killer. Oh, they getting you pretty. Oh Lord, let me get the other. If y'all can hang out for me, I got a couple, just these little short ones I wanted to add in on the Black People Network. Hey, shout out to the Black People Network. I don't know the name of the network, but I'm gonna call it the Black People Network. I'm sure that's not the name. And do not strike me. I do not own the rights to any of these videos and stuff. But this is for educational and entertainment purposes. I can't believe that people can't write down and say what I stated. So let me see. It was the BNC. Yes. We be doing it right over here, baby. Hold on. Just give me, I'm not on the screen right now, but just give me a minute. I'm looking for these videos. And then I'm going to let y'all go. All right, who we had up first? I'm coming, y'all. That was. I'm coming. Looking for the. I'm coming. Two from today. Okay, I'm coming back on the screen. I'm coming. I'm gonna drop it when I get finished putting this stuff up here.
News tonight, I'm Mark Hill. First up, the former executive assistant to disgraced R&B singer R. Kelly testified today in his ongoing sex trafficking and racketeering trial. BNC's Drake Clark has the story.
Michelle Mack testified she first met singer R. Kelly in 2005. She was a talent manager, and R. Kelly inquired about a singer that was on her roster. She said Kelly liked the singer so much that they collaborated on a song that was featured on one of Kelly's albums. Then in 2009, Mack testified she introduced another artist named Precious to Kelly. Kelly and Precious began working together at Kelly's home studio outside of Chicago. Precious was only 17 at the time, and her mother was with her initially in Illinois, but eventually returned back home to Atlanta. Precious stayed at a hotel while recording, and Matt testified she would check in on her. Then Matt broke down crying, recalling how Precious abruptly decided to stop working with Kelly. Max said Kelly called her saying Precious was planning a sexual harassment lawsuit against him. She testified Kelly was very concerned about the lawsuit because he was preparing to make an appearance at the 2010 World Cup in Africa. She said Kelly told her she needs to pick a side, his or Precious, and that generally in situations like this, people come up missing. Max said she felt that was a threat. She later recalled signing an affidavit. She said she never read it fully, but she remembers seeing two questions on the affidavit. Did she ever see Kelly give Precious alcohol? And did she ever witness the two having sex? 3 years later, Max said she agreed to work with Kelly again, this time as his executive assistant. But Max said one time Kelly made her sign a letter saying she took money from a booking agent on the side. She said she wrote the letter and signed it, but it was 1,000% scripted, and she only wrote everything R. Kelly told her to write. She finally quit in 2015 after she said Kelly yelled and cursed at her for ruining someone's birthday surprise. I'm Drake Clark for Black News Tonight.
One of every 320 Mississippians has died of COVID, making Mississippi the state with the highest rate of COVID deaths in the United States. The spreading of the virus is not slowing down either. State health officials report that Mississippi...
Okay, yeah, for that one. All right, y'all, this one little one. Where was that one? Okay. Oh, yeah, let me put this back on the screen. Y'all showing y'all ass in this chat. One, here go this pretty decent recap. Looks like I haven't heard this, so let me see what he's talking about.
When court resumes Monday, the defense will cross-examine the final prosecution witness. Then the prosecution is expected to formally rest its case. My co-counsel, veteran prosecutor and BNC's legal contributor, Paul Henderson, is back with me to talk about week 5 of this trial. Paul, jurors spent most of the day hearing from a woman named Cheryl. She's a former talent manager who later became Kelly's assistant. She got emotional talking about a 17-year-old girl she introduced to Kelly in an effort to help her singing career. Now, keep in mind, this is the same witness who was too emotional to testify on Wednesday. What parts of her testimony do you believe did the most damage to the defense?
Well, I think a number of things. One is the foundation that she laid of her relationship with R. Kelly over a decade, dealing with him in and out in different roles and in different capacities under his direction and control. Talking about what happened to employees when you work for R. Kelly. I think the narrative that you talked about that both highlighted and typified what happened when you work for R. Kelly was really resonating with a jury like this, especially in the context of the narrative she told about the sexual harassment lawsuit that R. Kelly thought he might find against it. Because the things that she talked about in an emotional way that I think will resonate are three things. One, that R. Kelly was very clear about how she, as an employee, had to pick a side. And then two, when he had her write a letter as part of just employment about dictating to defend himself against things that weren't true, that he narrated her and forced her to write, to defend or obscure the truth about what was going on, about illegal or inappropriate behavior. And now let's keep in mind that writing that letter is consistent with a lot of other testimony that we've heard, not just from employees, but from the alleged victims in this case. And so that rings true as well. And then the third thing that really stood out to me was the fact that she articulated very clearly about how she felt threatened by his communications and his conversations with R. Kelly. And all of that matters is because now I feel like the prosecution's case is really trying to wrap up and focus on the elements that they're going to have to argue for the racketeering charges specifically. And I think that's what's going to make a difference. And presumably, towards the end and in closing, they're going to make a point to clarify for the jury why that specific testimony toward the end of the trial is absolutely relevant, because it speaks to the elements that they are going to have to prove in this trial.
Paul, Cheryl said that Kelly told her she had to pick a side after that young woman filed a sexual harassment suit. She also said that Kelly told her that, quote, people come up missing in these situations. How significant is that testimony?
Absolutely. One, it shows that he is directing and controlling the things that she was asked to do that may have supported illegal outcomes. And two, it shows the very specific language that he was using to validate whether or not that threat was real. And so it wasn't just a passing comment that all of these people around him were performing in the way that they did to groom, assist, validate, and encourage women, groupies, fans, boys, young children, whatever, to act inappropriately with R. Kelly. These were things that he was directing. And again, all of this goes to the elements that the prosecution has to prove for racketeering, that R. Kelly was using his business enterprise to commit illegal acts, and that these were ongoing elements, ongoing events that have happened more than once. And then the other thing that we need to keep in mind is that the outcome of this was either he committed illegal acts or attempted to commit illegal acts. So even if you can't confirm that he absolutely did have sex with an underage minor, the fact that he was attempting to is enough to find him guilty. And that's why the language like this and the testimony from the day is so important. And again, this is the testimony that is corroborated with half a dozen other employees that testified similar incidents. And more importantly, it underscores the over a dozen alleged victims of men and women that we're talking about, the actual illegal behavior from statutory rape. I think it was a dozen, but a number of them talked about having sexual relations with R. Kelly while they were underage. All of these are the illegal acts, but it's important that we understand the box of racketeering, the elements that the prosecution has to prove, and that's why the testimony like this is so damning and it's so important in
Paul, Cheryl admitted that she wrote and signed a letter of apology, similar to what the other witnesses described. In her case, though, she says Kelly made her apologize for taking money from a booking agent. She testified the letter was 1,000% scripted by Kelly. But the defense honed in on that and tried to shame her, saying that a woman her age, which was the late 40s, should have known better. How do you think that'll play with a jury, especially women her age that are sitting on that jury?
I think badly, and were that my case, I would have rehabilitated her and used that exact language to make sure that it was highlighted with the jury to hear how inappropriate it was. But here's why that matters. That same letter, which I presume defense will use these letters later on, but we'll get back to that in a second. What I think stands out is that these letters were being used regularly, not just with the employees, not just with security guards, not just with the assistants, but with many of the victims and witnesses as well. All talked about these letters that they had to write, and it could not be more clear with all of the corroborative evidence that went in, which is the testimony that these letters were coerced, that these letters were dictated by R. Kelly, and that these letters were false. And the reason that people had to write these letters and draft these letters was to obscure, defend, or prevent R. Kelly from being accountable for bad behavior. That's the key. And I think people are going to listen to these narratives before defense even gets to take the stand and try and introduce all of these letters from everyone. And the jury's going to have to wonder, like, how interesting is it that every single person around R. Kelly has these letters that they had to write or that were written where they talked about themselves negatively, or they condemned themselves for bad behavior, or they swore that they were going to lie or try and condemn R. Kelly in the future. I think it takes away part of the defense's argument, and that's why prosecution is focused on in getting these witnesses that they're putting on the stand to articulate and talk about the letter, because all of them that wrote letters are talking about it, and I think that's intentional by prosecution. You don't have people out there on accident to present evidence like that.
Well, the prosecution called its final witness today a clinical and forensic psychologist. She talked about the kind of trauma some of Kelly's accusers may have suffered, talked about the strategy behind, talk about the strategy behind having her be the last voice that the jury will hear from the prosecution.
Well, it does two things. One, it leaves the case with a bow of an expert that they can rely on, independent of the witnesses that they have been put on the stand. And then two, it answers a lot of questions for the jury that may be distracted by the behavior of a lot of these witnesses, meaning the fans, that could be distracted and even judgmental about, why did you sleep with them? Why didn't you tell other people if this was inappropriate? Why didn't you do anything? Why did you take it down? So to talk about that psychology, and this is a very similar thing, as you know, with cases like this, especially when you're talking about domestic violence cases or abuse cases. It really is helpful for a jury to understand, why did someone do that? Because then they can believe why someone did that if they understand the psychology behind it. I've been saying and been talking about it from the beginning of this case. I've been waiting to hear from a psychologist to come on and explain some of this behavior to a jury. And from my perspective, I think one, it answers the questions for the jury about why people did what they did. And then two, it presents an element of professionalism from a professional witness presented to this jury that allows them to follow the path of the arguments that the prosecution is going to present to this audience to explain why they believe, based on the evidence that's been presented, that R. Kelly is guilty.
All right, veteran prosecutor and legal contributor Paul Henderson, thank you so much for joining me on this Friday night. Gang member turned speaker and activist.
Yes. Yes. Whoa. Oh, we be getting it. We be getting it. He just confirmed it too. Okay, I got a couple more minutes. I'll drop this link for a minute or so, and we can get on out of here and do something else. Hey, they just confirmed what we found out that we've been talking about. Yes. I'm going to drop it for a couple of minutes. Yes, ain't that, baby? What? What? Just said what I've been saying, honey. So he's looking for that too. But then they explain. I mean, we don't know what the experts said or whatever, but I would reckon that they explained why the people did what they did. All right, hold on. All right, what it do, DJ Amazing? What it do?
I get this. Yeah, you was right. You was right. You was right on the money.
Yes, yes. Hey, thank you, so thank you. I mean, man, this is crazy. So, hey, I don't know. Hey, ain't nothing else. Do we still? Oh, well, yeah, we still need to do that exercise because we want to know how. We already did count one. Does anybody know? Or maybe I can find out. I got to remind myself to find out probably tonight or in the morning what the those video those recordings or whatever what was actually on them. What did it prove?
I think some of it under seal.
Nah, they don't play it all now. I'm just saying whatever they played in court is what I need to know exactly. What are they alleging? Are they alleging any child porn? Are they alleging sexual abuse, physical abuse? I know it's physical abuse. Is it sexual abuse or what have you? Is it sex at the direction of him? We got to know that. We got so we check off the list of visual depictions. Just need to know what it actually depicts, so I can move those four because I had four check marks in the question mark categories, and it would be based on those recordings or whatever it would have shown. Something I wanted to make sure you guys knew.
I'll tell you one thing: if they find this man not guilty, it's gonna be some smoke in the city.
Oh Lord, not no smoke in the city. Well, well, I got a couple more minutes before I let everybody get out of here. You heard how when I showed the court TV thing how hard how hard a crime it is for this particular his charges to be sold to a jury as a RICO. I mean, I can't. I wasn't making it up. It's just not. I told you, it's just not as easy as okay. Here's the evidence. This should confirm what they say. Okay, you should find them guilty. Nah, it don't work that way. So you got to. And I'll tell y'all. Okay, who remembers this? And y'all, because in all these videos, and I've been saying it, but in all these videos that I've played, there was one word that kept coming up. What? And it begins with an E. The prosecution must prove every blank of a crime. Can you tell me what that is? Why y'all cussing each other out, killing each other, and calling each other names? Can y'all give me that answer so I can get out of here?
The question.
Huh?
Repeat the question.
Okay. A prosecution must prove every blank of a crime for conviction.
That a crime.
Yes, Jennifer. Yes. Look at, come on, baby. I want to get on the good foot. Oh, baby. Oh, yes. Oh, let me shake what your mama gave you. Let me shake what your mama gave you. Yes. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Every element of the crime. Right. See, we get somewhere over here, baby. We get somewhere. We get to it.
Yeah, we get somewhere over here, but it's a jury buying that. That's $1 million question. It's a jury buying all of this.
Well, hell, that's up to both the prosecution and the defense got to do what they got to do to make sure that they, serve each, serve their side of the story the best way they can. So let me ask y'all this, because we're doing a lot of participation tonight, and thank y'all for the ones that's participating, whether it be cussing each other out, stabbing, shooting, and killing and cussing, or not responding back and forth with me. Okay, I can't with y'all sometimes, but based on, and I'll just ask you prematurely, right before we even get to the exercise, because I don't know how many people, was here when I went through with Dom with count one, whether they proved, what have they proved of the particular count for the prosecution or what have you. Based on what we know of the judicial process for as proving the elements of the crime, not just looking at the evidence and saying, yeah, this gonna, yeah, okay, yeah. No. Because they got jury instructions for a reason. Those instructions are expressed in written form in a language there that tells the jury what they must use in order to find someone innocent or guilty, right? So, just prematurely, can you tell me if you think the prosecution has proven their case?
In my opinion, I'm gonna say 80% has been proven.
80%, okay.
Now, if you ask me a reasonable doubt, then that's in question. If you ask me,
Okay.
and I'm only saying that because of the RICO charge, like you said, it's only because of the RICO.
Okay. All right. Mocha said yes. What are they talking about? Somebody in a wheelchair? Like, oh Lord, y'all pleased with that? All right. Second question. Do you think? Let me write this down because I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna double back with this one. Okay. I don't know what. All right. For the defense, right? Now I know majority of you guys in here are anti R. Kelly. So if anybody listening in the bushes, if y'all can come out and help on this would be fine. I don't care who it is, just give me an answer, please. As far as the defense, you guys are smart enough, or what have you. Y'all, we've done enough work to kind of figure this out. And so you should know where I'm going with this. As far as the defense, and I'm gonna see what you think. Which defense do you think would be the most successful? The excuse defense, which is pretty much what it says. This happened, but here's the reason why it happened. It happened because I only, got involved with these minors because they lied about their age. Let's see, what else? Whatever the excuses you
Oh,
would
I can
think
help you with that, Angie. They gonna sit here and argue.
Hold on.
Oh, go
Wait a
ahead.
minute. I want to finish. Hold on. Okay, the excuses. Somebody, it happened, but it happened because of somebody, they lied about their age. They pursued him. The excuses pretty much you've heard. All right. To the diminished capacity, right? Meaning it happened, But the reason why it happened was more to do with his ability not to understand on a level as a man, on his age compared to someone else with his same age or same age range, right? When they say like he don't understand, he signed it wasn't him signing the NDAs, somebody else was running his business. Even when it comes to Demetrius securing the fake stuff, whatever, to get married or what have you. This again kind of excuses his behavior, but it more or less justifies it, right? So it justifies his behavior. Or 3, he's in it. 3, he's just innocent. Ain't no, he's just innocent. He didn't do it.
You ready for the answer?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this my personal opinion. Looking in, looking out, the whole case. In my opinion, I think the closing argument will be on his side is that there was no crime that took place. All that they wanted to have sex with him, and no matter how nasty and sick and perverted it may be, there was never no crime taking place. All you heard is a bunch of different sex acts, but none of it was a crime. So they're gonna probably go with that narrative. Yes, you heard some sickening stuff, but none of it was a crime.
Oh, I'm sorry, y'all. Can I add another one in there? And number 4 would be he's not guilty because his constitutional or civil rights were violated.
Nope, I ain't going with none of that.
Hold on, y'all. Let me see. Where the hell is okay?
They even arguing over there now, saying if the charges don't fit, you gotta acquit. What kind of crap that is?
I don't know.
It's not no damn O.J. Simpson trial.
Come on with the defense. I need different sides because I want to see how close y'all are, as far as not close like one side where they. Well, yeah, that's what I do want to know. I'll start there. How close what we've learned, what we've been through, what have you. What we've been doing over here, what we've gotten from the updates that we get, the daily updates from Dottie Hollywood. Who was that? Gosh, who was that on DeVosky's channel? I would know that's either it's not Queen Christie, a Yellow Michelle, or one of them. We're gonna say DeVosky's channel, his contributions. Nobody's anything when she's doing them. What we get from the transcripts when we get those, and what we've been getting from the articles. What you think? We're gonna say 1 for excuse, 2 for diminished capacity, which is a justification, which we're talking about his mental state, right? 3, he's just innocent. For whatever reason, he didn't have time to do all this. All other stuff that goes in that category. 4, his rights was violated, whether it be constitutional, civil rights, or what have you. And
Well, I would be able to give you more of a clear answer if I knew they closing argument.
Well, now that's why I'm just sampling for what we got right now. That we're trying to see what defense they're going to use.
That's why I was saying they gonna tell them jurors, hey, there was no crime here. You heard a bunch of sex talking or heard a bunch of, this, that, and the other, but there was no crime that took all these women wanted to be with him in their eyes, and they pursued him. There was never no crime taking place. Yeah, you heard a bunch of sick, twisted stuff, but it was never a crime.
Yeah,
That's
and
what they
in
gonna
that
try to run with that narrative.
category that he's innocent, also throw in there. We're gonna put a gimme in there as well. Like his sex life is on trial. I've been hearing that a lot. His sex life is on trial and doesn't arise to the amount of any type of abuse or what have you, right?
I'm gonna go with that
So
one.
y'all got that. So you say progress is in here. Progress is in here. Y'all got the PPs up there. It could be progress. Okay, it could be pretty peace. Hell, I don't know who's in there, but yeah, I mean, Team Cash, y'all gonna have and fight and battle with their ass. Yeah, battle with your position. Yeah.
Well, you as being an attorney, what you think the closing argument gonna be? You from you looking at this whole case, what you think the closing argument gonna end up being?
I think they're gonna use several different things, but I think the main one is gonna be an excuse, the excuse defense. I think they're gonna add a little bit of the diminished capacity for a justification. That would be a nice way to kind of justify the excuse. That'll be a nice one I just came up with. Let me put that down.
Because all you need is one juror to be like, well, you know what? I kind of questioned all of this. All you need is one juror, and it's considered a hung jury, correct?
Right. So we can say that diminish capacity to bolster the excuse defense. All right. And he's more than welcome to add in to sprinkle a little where they were groupies. It's his sex life. There's no crime here. Okay, we're gonna put that in there. Sex life.
That's what I'm saying. They gonna argue, hey, Mr. Kelly had multiple partners, multiple women. Where is the crime in it? They say this was a RICO charge. Where is the RICO charge? They gonna be trying to reach for the BS, for the bullshit, to the jury.
Right. Right. And yeah, you can also add that in there that they didn't prove RICO. So for number 3, so now we got something building on number 3. All right, number 3 we have he didn't have time to do it. His sex life is on trial. A RICO wasn't proved. Wait a minute. I'm so sick of you. Sex life. Oh shit. Okay, yeah, the groupies. So we got a lot in excuse in a defense number 3, right? He's innocent, and here's why. Say his sex life is on trial. They were groupies. He didn't have time to commit a crime. No RICO was proved. Yeah. And number 4 is the Constitution and or his civil rights was violated. He actually kind of season it up with all 4.
And he gonna go back to use that phone call in the prison when Tasha K broke the phone calls out there. They gonna try to throw that up in there. Cause that's the only leg Tasha K did him a favor, if you ask me. Because they gonna definitely use that if he get found guilty.
Well, if I'm not sure. Okay. For appeals are used to cure something that wasn't remedied at the lower court. So if they bring it up, if they bring it up, thank you. If they bring it up now, maybe they can address it. But I don't know if they would want to even go there to address it, what have you. And I don't know if it will.
But that's one of their cards in play if he found guilty. I'm sure they already started planning if he is found guilty. They already got what they gonna use. So many errors in his case. They gonna try to find. They got errors right here. They got errors there. They got errors here.
But they have to go and see if that is like, was there any evidence or anything leaked on that stuff? I mean, what was his rights with regards to that?
They gonna everything was hearsay. All those people who testify, all them John Does, they gonna say everything was hearsay.
We don't know the nature of the calls, the information contained, in the emails and stuff like that. So that
Right.
right there, I need to see exactly what it is. Let me see. So let me start putting up some of this stuff. All right, some y'all. I see y'all stop cussing each other out, and y'all are. Some more people are responding to me. All right, let me see. All right, let me start with Queen Christy. Okay, let's see, Queen Mocha. Okay, Queen Christy. Oh, let me start with what Queen Christy said. Let me start there, and I can tell what is going on. All right, all right. Let me start here. Okay, Queen Chris. Okay, the prosecutors sought out people who they could buy to run with this BS narrative until Steve Greenberg got fired. The prosecution was winning. Kanik is challenging their every move. Right, Queen Chris. That is absolutely right. Okay, progress. Hey, welcome back. Let's see. Question: why is it that everyone that took the stand was robbed? $30,000 watch, stealing $8,000 out the bag. Yeah. That is a crime on that person's part. However, it doesn't really play into the crimes that he's been charged for. Let me see. Quinn, if you are right, then Kelly would be found not guilty. What's this about?
Yeah, but you need all 12 jurors to say guilty.
Right. Okay, it said Karen J said, did R. Kelly press charges from those that stole? No. All right,
No, he
James
made
said,
them write a statement though, a lying statement against themselves.
mm. Right. It says James Harris, what Tasha reported was not used in the case. Right. Okay.
But that's what I'm saying. They're not gonna use it in the case. That's almost like they ace in the hole. If he's found guilty, they gonna go back to that.
No, what they're saying is it wasn't used in the case, so therefore, how could it be an appellate issue? That's good. That's good, James. That's good. Good work, James. Yay, James. Yay.
But that could be used for an appeal to say, hey, my rights was, stepped on. They was listening to my phone conversation. This is why I was found guilty.
I don't know if it's a phone conversation. I think it was the emails. But the phone conversations and things of that nature, they are monitored. They already are monitored.
Right, and
All right.
that's how Tasha K said. I've heard some of the phone conversation he was having with Ezreal. That's what I'm saying. So she even said it herself that she listened to some of the phone calls. You go back to her video if it's still up.
Oh, okay.
She said that.
But I don't know if that was what was leaked out or what have you. So I mean, it has to go with the Let me see. Hold on, maybe this is something. All right, it's okay. Mocha says, Queen Chrissy, that's a false statement. Why not just speak in facts? No one person has shown receipts that the government paid them. Stop it. The federal government doesn't file charges on behalf of people. Correct. Yes, yes. The truth says, R. Kelly Hamlins are in the chat. They said they're not going back and forth with me, though. All right. What y'all talking about? As R. Kelly needs to learn from his super fans on how to do police reports and press charges. Right, okay. James Harris, to see it is to believe it. The U.S. government has wasted a lot of unnecessary money. Is a disgrace. And then they drug Aaliyah in this. Okay. Star Child. I'm going to say this. If he gets convicted for this, there'll be a lot of other celebrities or famous people getting charges. I will always use my agent name for YouTube. Okay. Okay, we asked the witness, did not know, didn't recall. How swear you just responded to the prosecution.
Now I did notice that on some of the trials, some of the witnesses would get on the stand and say, "I don't recall," but on certain other questions they recall. So I will say some of the witnesses seem a little shaky
Right.
when they kept on saying, "I don't recall, I don't recall," and
Okay,
look at the prosecutor.
All right, progress said the government just need to save face and throw the whole damn case away. Free kills. All right, okay. Karen J says child sexual exploitation is a type of sexual abuse. When a child or a young person is exploited, they are given things like gifts, drugs, money, status, and affection. Right. Pretty P said, I don't talk to man. Oh, Lord Jesus. Okay, the feds are trying to bring Aaliyah the justice she deserves, and no one else could close to her cared about satisfy. Okay, I'm all the way down to the end. Coercion enticement,
As sad as it sounds, all this man is needed is one or two jurors to be like, "I don't believe this," or "I don't think it was a RICO charge," and that'd be all she wrote for this case. Sad as
right.
it sounds, all you need is one or two of them damn jurors to question any of this stuff.
All right, so y'all, well, we finna get on up out of here, but so keep in mind. So hopefully, I guess I'm gonna try to go Saturday or Sunday at least before the or at least no later than Monday before the defense get into their case in chief, right? Or at least no later than the first day of it. That way, we can try to do a little case checklist, you know, and see, if they're coming with it. Are they going to come with enough to counter it? And we're going to see how they're going to shape their defense, right? I have a good idea just based on some of the cross examination, but I don't know if that's going to be it at all. But also we could y'all continue to listen to those transcripts and things, especially pay close attention to what the defense is saying, because that's giving us an indication of what they're conceding to. Like I said, to me, this is just my opinion, they conceded to him having had sexual intercourse with males. All right. Even when I think on the first one, John Doe #1, when he was trying to age that male, not make him a minor. Why would you even bother to do that if you wasn't conceding that there was something there was some type of sexual sexual transaction that happened between both of them? So hey, let me see progress. Now, how about the defense bring out Leah mother or brother? It's the defense turn. Right. Okay. All of them, Queen Chris, you like all of them, all of the defenses, you're saying? Right. And so, to me, this is just my opinion. Although the pieces of the tapes that they played were damaging, to me, it still didn't amount to the bombshell that I was expecting, right? The all that from the storage or what have you. And also, I did catch on. I think it was either Dottie's or Hollywood's update. You know that missing discovery. Remember, I don't want to say it was missing, but the discovery said like it was 200 or the number 200 or something, whatever. So I that was a lot of that was entered in. So, but what I was saying about the tapes, I was expecting to see the child pornography. Did anyone denote it as child pornography? I didn't hear Hollywood, say that this exhibit was a child pornography of, this, that, and the third. I didn't hear Dottie say it. I didn't hear anyone update given on Debo's channel to say it.
Yeah,
So I
where's
didn't.
those 100 devices?
Okay, so it could very well show up in Chicago maybe for their case. I'm not sure. We need to go and look at. I need to go confirm. Who were the minors? Not them. Well, whoever was over there on the Chicago case. So we got to go find that. Well, I do need to confirm who the minors are in order for it to be child pornography. So I did say it correctly. And also, I was looking for, just showing pornography, that don't really tell us that something was illegal, because it's pornography. But how those visual depictions, and I got to go back and look, how they're saying those the visual depictions came about. So let me write that down. Was it coerced and enticed, or and was it the transportation across the lines or whatever, the man act for the visual depiction, which would then make it a crime. It would change it from just regular pornography to now it is a crime, because now you're doing the transportation across state lines, you got the coercion, you got the enticement. I need to go look at that, but I think I'm correct. That's what makes that pornography now illegal pornography. And make it illegal. All right. So yeah. So, but keep in mind, the prosecution has to deliver that to the jury, because they may look at it and say, okay, well, this is just pornography. What makes this pornography illegal? Was it with, okay, also, yeah, without consent. That's another way that pornography will be illegal. So the prosecution is going to have to turn that pornography into illegal pornography and make sure the jury understands why it's illegal pornography. So anyway, and all right, so let me ask y'all a hard question before we get out of here. We want to make sure we understand when the statute of limitations, right? So for the federal statute of limitations, make sure the statute of limitations runs when the crime was what? You can give me one answer that begins with the F or one answer that begins with the D. It starts when the crime was what? One answer begins with the F, one answer begins with the D.
I'm gonna go with
So
D.
what we got here? Huh? What'd you say?
I'm gonna go with D.
The answer begins with the D. It's not it's not D. Is the answer begins with the D? It's a word. It's a word.
Discovered.
One word begins. Huh?
Discovered.
Right. Discovered is one, right? Or founded. Founded, I believe, is in the paperwork. Right. Okay. Let me see. All right. So let's see. What is y'all on here talking about? Whatever. Yes,
You
they have.
think Joyce gonna ever take the stage?
She might. Mm, I don't know. The only thing, like I said, I mean, you can't just. Oh yeah, and also, Team Chaos people, do not get upset when you don't see a parade of people that the defense are going to put on to get on there and just say R. Kelly is a good guy, this, that, and the third. That is not how character witnesses are considered admissible, right? That's not how. They have to provide evidence of a character trait. So when character trait, that is something that is in you, not a few, instances where he gave somebody $5,000 or he paid for somebody's college tuition. No.
I'm sure they're gonna dig up a couple of people for him to make him look good. I'm sure they're gonna find somebody that's willing to go up there for him.
Yeah, I just explained that you just can't have like a parade of people to go up there and say, "Oh, R. Kelly's a good guy." Yeah, you just have to have they have to testify to a character trait. So that's what that is. All right, y'all. So with that being said, I'm gonna get on up out of here, folks. So thank you for coming up, DJ Amazing, and thanks again to. And remember, y'all, this live between this live and the next live, that's gonna be used for that first giveaway on Club Blue on 10/1. So, but I don't care what day it's on or what have you. So make sure y'all pay attention, which I'm sure y'all did. And if not, you can always catch it on a replay. All right, so with that being said, thanks again to the host, the hostess, and the guests, and everybody else. To the next live. Peace out. Bye, y'all.
See you later.
Bye, DJ.